Ok, bonsoir tout le monde, j'espère que vous allez bien. Alors aujourd'hui, il a fait un temps vraiment magnifique ici à Limerick. Je ne sais pas comment c'était le temps chez vous, mais chez nous en tout cas, il faisait très très beau. So if you notice, it's something that I'm going to be looking at tonight, the imperfect a little bit, okay? So I'll be going over that. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you about that huge unprecedented measure taken by the Minister for Education today when he announced that all of you would be getting 100%. Now, I was kind of in and out listening to Joe Duffy this afternoon, and some students are very upset, some students are really happy and whatever. Look, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I think that the Minister did the only fair thing, okay? By giving you all the full marks for it, he has basically said, okay, for the weaker students, obviously it's going to be a huge relief. For the students that have worked really, really hard, it's a little bit upsetting. But the one thing I would say to you is any work that you've done in French is not lost. So you're not to think, oh God, I've wasted so many weeks or so many months preparing. No, because you'll find that a lot of the work that you've done will actually help you in the other sections of the Leaving Cert, okay? So bearing that in mind, as I said in the message I sent out earlier, there's still 75% of your marks that you can work on for the paper, and at ordinary level it's 80%. At Junior Cert, because you have your 2 CBAs done, I don't know, most of you will have your task assessment done now. This is Junior Cert, just in case Leaving Certs are going, what task assessment? For Junior Cert, there is a task assessment. I know that they were due to be sent off to the department on the 23rd of March, and I know that we were smack bang in the middle of them. Actually, we had just kind of set our dates, our 2 class times when we'd be doing them. But anyway, there's still 90% of the Junior Cert to play for. So, you know, there's still an awful lot. The maximum amount of marks is still within, you know, it still has to be worked on, okay? So bearing that in mind, obviously I had to think about what I'm doing, and obviously I'm not going to do oral stuff between now and June because there's no point, but we are going to work on the 3 other skills, the reading, the writing and the listening skills, okay? Now, even though I won't be kind of playing things for the listening, I would be kind of giving you tips on vocabulary, important vocabulary from the listening. I'd be looking at maybe different verbs that they use so that you can practice all of those. All of that is good, okay? So for the moment, let me tell you the way we're going to plan this evening, okay? I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to do Leaving Certs again first, okay? Because I did the modal verbs last night, but tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the narrative question, okay? So that's a really important part of the written, and we're going to look at the narrative, okay? Not, as far as I know, and I could be corrected in my statistics, but I think only about 5% of students actually attempt this question, and it's an awful shame. Now, it's a shame as well because it's not on every year. It's like, yeah, you're going to study for the diary entry and prepare the diary entry because guess what? It always comes up. You're also going to do an awful lot of study for opinion pieces because they are always on the paper. The problem with the récit or the narrative is it's not always on the paper, and that's a little bit of a disappointment, okay? But I'm still going to cover it because who knows, this could be your year, okay? It's a very strange year. There's a lot of things happening in the world that we've no control over. So let's just remember that we need a little bit of structure in our lives. So we're just going to kick on with this now and see how we get on. All right. Now, just to let you know, I'm working from the narrative that was in the 2016 honours paper. Okay, so the narrative is generally, it's a form of writing. If I just explain the writing piece, what it is first, okay? The narrative is in question 1. It's normally, if it's on it, it's going to be in question 1. It's going to be obligatory. It's one of the obligatory, you know, the A or the B. So it's going to be one of those. So if you do go for the narrative, and it does come up, it'll be in question 1. You won't find it in question 2, 3, or 4. You will find it in question 1. So that's really important that you know whereabouts in the paper you're going to find it, okay? Secondly, it's a 40 marker. So there's more marks going for that than for the other 2, which are 30 each. So this is a 40 marker. So it carries a lot of weight, okay? I would say the narrative is like a story, okay? So if you're telling me a story, you're telling me about something generally that happened, okay? So straight away, you're going to be using, you could actually be using 3 tenses, right? You're going to be using your passé composé, which is your ordinary past tense, okay? I did, I saw, I walked, okay? You're going to be using your imperfect, okay? And your imperfect tense is I used to do something or I was doing something. Now I'm going to come back to the imperfect tense again. And I have a couple of notes typed out for you. Yeah, don't worry. And we're going to look at the imperfect and how you use it. And importantly, when do you use the imperfect and when do you use the passé composé? Because students mix that up a lot, okay? So in the narrative, okay, it's, you know, when we did the opinion piece the other night, I said the opinion piece is lovely, right? You've an opening, you've a conclusion, and you've 2 or 3 points in the middle, right? And it's lovely. The structure is really easy and understandable. In fairness for the récit, there isn't really, sorry, now I just have to click out of this. I don't know if you can see, I get pop-ups here, so I'm just getting rid of them. It isn't really a structured piece as such, right? It's kind of free writing. You can kind of write what you want. But actually what I found with the students that I've had over the years have all said to me, you know, that's great, but they do like structure. Students like to work from a template of some sort or a structure of some sort, right? So I put together a kind of a template structure for students to make it easier for them, okay? So I would say that when you're telling a story, it's like in English, okay? You need to have the following things, right? You need to set the scene, all right? Now to set the scene, you're going to be using the imperfect tense. If it lends itself, right? It sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. You may talk about what the weather was like. Okay, you would also say who was there or were you alone? Okay, and again, this is all the imperfect tense. Then you're going to tell us what happened. And that's going to be a mixture of the imperfect and the passé composé. Now it's here that you might also have the pluperfect. Okay, so that's important to get the pluperfect. I'll explain those in about, I'd say 2 or 3 minutes, right? And the other one that you need is kind of a resolution, or what was the consequence, what was the result of your story, okay? And that can be, it's all going to be kind of past tense, but you could put something in the future like, or in the present tense to say, it's important to be vigilant in life or something like that, depending on the story, okay? So if we look at the 2016 paper, it said that vous ouvrez votre boîte mail et vous venez de recevoir un courriel de quelqu'un que vous connaissez pas. Okay, so you have just opened an email from somebody and tell us what happened. Okay, so this is the sample email that I've written. Okay, don't worry, I will make this available to you. Don't worry, those of you that are already members of the website can just pop on and it's all there for you. But for those, the rest, there's no problem. I will make it available. So again, don't scramble for pens, right? I'm just going to read through what I wrote and I'm going to show you where I used the imperfect, where I used whatever tense, okay? So, l'autre jour, j'ai reçu un courrier très intéressant. So the other day I received, now I know this is yet again, we're back to my tiny writing, but if you can see, the other day I received a very interesting mail. That's just your passé composé. Je vais vous raconter ce qui m'est arrivé. I'm going to tell you what happened to me. And what happened to me is reflexive because it's to me. you're using a direct object pronoun. I won't get into too much of the grammar, but just to let you know that je vais vous raconter is your future push. Okay, so you can see that you need a good mastery of a couple of different tenses, right? Now this is important. I'm going to set the scene. C'était un matin ordinaire au mois de mars. C'était. It was an ordinary morning in the month of March. Je venais, now this is what I want to show you. This is important. This construction, right? Je venais de terminer mes examens blancs. And je venais de terminer is the pluperfect, okay? But what it is, pardon me, it's the venir de in the imperfect. Sorry, venir de construction. To have just done something is the present tense of venir plus your verb, but venez de is I had just done something. So I just finished my exams et j'attendais mes résultats avec impatience. I was waiting for my results impatiently. Comme c'était un samedi, j'étais chez moi sur le point de commencer mes révisions. Sur le point de, on the point of, or just about to. And again, j'étais chez moi, I was at home. You're telling the person reading where you were, you're situating your story. Je voulais vérifier ma boîte de courrier électronique pour voir si j'avais reçu des emails. Okay, now here we have it in all its splendor, right? Pour voir si, okay, the pen there, right? Si j'avais reçu. Do you see that? J'avais reçu. That is your pluperfect. It's the imperfect of avoir or être plus your past participle. And recevoir is the verb to receive. It's irregular. So reçu is your past participle. So j'avais reçu. Don't worry, I'm going to go through these with you. So don't worry too much, okay? And it goes on to say that I received an email for somebody that I didn't know. He told me that I'd won a trip to Spain. And il faut avouer que is another nice expression that I'm going to show you. Anyway, so don't worry. Look, don't be scrambling to try and write these down. I'm going to put all those up, okay? Okay, so il faut avouer que, oh, here, this pen. Il faut avouer que, it must be admitted that, you know, instead of just j'étais mal à l'aise, I was uncomfortable, il faut avouer que, and there you're kind of, you're using richer language. Okay, that's what you're doing. Okay, car je n'avais pas participé à une compétition quelconque. I hadn't entered any competition. So then you're using the passé composé. J'ai décidé de. I decided to. All right. I decided to respond straight away, because you don't say I was deciding to, you say I decided. It's a quick action, therefore it'll take passé composé, right? I decided to answer straight away because honesty is the best attitude to adopt, and I just basically said that I told him that it wasn't possible that I had won, and then he said, oh, you were pulled out of a hat just like that, and it's just, il a ajouté qu'il fallait que je renverse la somme de 100 euros pour assurer ma place. I only had to pay 100 euros to ensure my place. And I told my parents, and they said that it was certainly or definitely a scam. And this is how you say a scam. Ils m'ont dit que c'était, c'était certainement de l'escroquerie. They told me it was definitely a scam. And comme le veut le dicton, si cela vous paraît trop beau pour être vrai, il est probablement ainsi. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And that's kind of the same. It's a nice ending to it. So you can see that we had a beginning. I told you where the action happened and all the rest of it. I told you what happened. And I gave you a resolution or a solution. My parents told me it was a scam. Forget about it. All right. So that was basically my story. Remember, you only have 90 words. Will examiners accept more? Of course they will. About 100, 110. But what I would say to you is, look, don't write too much, right? Try and write factual, decent, not factual, sorry, correct French, right? Even if it's easy enough, it's correct. And try and keep within a parameter. So do have a setting of the story. Say exactly what happened, say who was there, and give some kind of outcome. what happened? I mean, don't leave us hanging, because in the leaving cert, you're not going to come back and give a part 2. All right. So that's important. Now, in order to do all of those, right? In order to do all of those récits, okay, I told you that you needed a very good handle on passé composé, imparfait, and pluperfect, right? So for the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to explain to you how you do it and what kind of to watch out for, okay? So the first thing I'm going to ask, how many of you here do chemistry? And you're thinking, okay, is this French or science? Well, it makes complete sense, because the compound past, passé composé, is the French for compound past. Pardon me. And a compound is a mixture of 2 or more elements, right? So for the passé composé in French, it's actually a tense that requires 2 or more elements, right? I divide the passé composé into 2 main ones, right? The verbs that take avoir and the verbs that take être, right? Now, remember the other night, I told you that être was my king of the verbs, because he wears the crown on the first letter, okay? Horrible, horrible person, or verb, okay? Because everyone has to agree with him. He's like a dictator, okay? Avoir then is his wife. His long-suffering wife is avoir, and she puts up with an awful lot from him. But at the end of the day, she pulls the strings, right? So he thinks he's in charge. He has 16 idiots that follow him around, but she has control over all the other verbs, right? The unfortunate thing is, whenever he's in a sentence, everybody has to agree. It's kind of like, oh, he's here, right? We'll agree with him. But that's the way it is, okay? So what you need to do to form we'll call it the first passé composé with avoir, you need the present tense of the verb avoir. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. And then you need your past participle. Now, how to get the past participle? As you know, right, I have told you in other of these live streams, right, that the royal family of verbs in French are être, avoir, aller, and faire, right? And then there are 3 noble families, right? And the 3 noble families are Eeyore, Ior, right, can you see that? Okay, Eeyore, Ior, and Ori are my 3 noble families, right? So if you're going to get the past participle of a verb, remember that it's either going to be an Eeyore, an Ior, or an Ori, right? Forget the irregulars for the moment, because there's buckets of those as well. But look, we just deal with what we're dealing with. So your 3 main verbs are Eeyore, Ior, and Ori. To get the past participle, you have to knock off the Eeyore, add EAQ, right? Knock off the Ior, add I, and knock off the Ori and add U. Okay, so that's how you get your past participle. So then when you have a verb, right, and I have one here that I did for you, then when you have a verb, you have, for example, the verb parler, P-A-R-L-E-R, knock off your ER, and then it becomes present tense of avoir, which would be j'ai. In fact, I should have typed this out, but I didn't. But look, as my young fella says, my bad. So I'll do it now. And that becomes, sorry now. Okay, you'll see now why I type. Look at that, the state of it. But anyway, so j'ai parlé. So you've got the present tense of avoir plus the past participle, because the ER in parler goes to, E accent aigu. I will get used to that eventually. All right, so that's how you form your passé composé. And then there are 16 verbs with être. You all know the 16 verbs that go with être. They call them Mrs. Van der Trump. You call them all different things. But here they are. Descendre, entrer, rentrer, tomber, rester, arriver, mourir, partir. Voilà. Et puis là, nous avons devenir, revenir, monter, retourner, sortir, venir, aller, naître. Okay, so there they are. Now, I know I whizzed through that. I went really fast through those verbs, but you know what? They're in all of your textbooks. Every single textbook will have a part on it called passé composé. I'm here more to explain when you use them, okay? So now, this is important. Okay, so I'm writing, okay, and I want to say, I want to write a récit or a narrative, right, for the Leaving Cert, and I'm kind of going, I know how to form the passé composé, The imperfect, how do I form the imperfect? So the imperfect is I was doing something or I used to do something. I know that, but how do I form it? It is one of the simplest ones to form. You just take the nous, the nous form of the verb, you knock off the ons, and then you add your endings, ais, ait, ait. Actually, I'll show you, right? It'll actually be easier if I just show you those endings, because this I did manage to type out properly. You see, they are your endings. So we'll take an example. I want to say parler. I go to nous parlons. I knock off my ons. It leaves me with parle. And then I add the endings. Je parlais. I used to speak, or I was speaking. Now, let's imagine I'm writing something and I say, do I use imperfect or passive composer? Because that was a question that I was asked, right? So first of all, you use imperfect when you're setting the scene, when you're talking about feelings, when age is another one. So for example, j'avais 12 ans, I was 12. For age, you use it for weather as well. So it's important, if you're talking about weather in the past tense, you generally use the imperfect, because the idea was that if the weather was nice yesterday, you'd say il faisait beau hier. The idea that the weather was nice for a long time. Obviously, they haven't been to Ireland where they get the 4 seasons in the one day. But anyway, so that's important that you know when to use it, okay? The other thing that's important is if you have a sentence, right? Let's say I was walking down the road when I met John, right? Whoever John is, right? I was walking down the road when I met John. What are you going to use there? Well, I was walking would be your imperfect. And when I met John is an interrupted action. I was doing something when something else happened, and there you have to use your passive composer. I think the easiest thing would be for this would be that I put it up on my I put it on a blog or something for you for tomorrow morning, or I'll put it up as, I'll do it some way, right? And that way you can read through it, and I'll put the English with it so you can really try and make sense of it, okay? So that would be the 2016 paper. Obviously, if you are a member already, you just go onto it and just download it on PDF. But don't worry, for those of you that aren't, there's absolutely no problem. I will put it up for you, okay? So was there something else? Oh yeah, just one last thing before we leave it, right? Do you know, well, before we leave the leaving certs, do you know the way I was saying about the imperfect tense and irregulars and buckets for irregulars for the passive composer? Do you know how many irregulars are for the imperfect? Any idea? Ta-da! My friend and yours. Être, again. He is unbelievable, right? He is irregular, but he's the only irregular verb in the imperfect. So learn him, right? I would say write him out and stick him in the fridge, right? I'd also stick that in the fridge, how to get the past participle. In fact, I would have post-its all over the place between now and June or whenever the exam is going to be, because you just need to absolutely internalize certain things in French. That's one of the things you have to start internalizing. Right, so if you want to stick around, I'm going through writing a blog. I said a letter, made a mistake, because letters are now more or less a thing of the past for the junior cycle. But again, like I said the other day, oh, a blog, how am I going to do a blog? How did you do a letter? How do you do a postcard? It doesn't make a difference what they ask you, right? They're requiring you to write in French, and so you're going to be absolutely fine. We're going to whiz through one of these blogs, right? It's from one of the sample papers, okay? So I'm using the educate.ie paper, and if I go to sample paper B, right? So again, remember that the state examinations issued one exam paper that we all looked at and trawled through and dissected and all the rest of it. And then EDCO and educate.ie did exam papers. So look at, I use both, to be very honest with you, okay? So they're both good in their own way, okay? So here is the picture, right, of Saint-Tropez en France, dans le sud de la France. And they say write a blog post. Okay, so it's question 18. So it's part, there I go again. It's part of the written section. Okay, so it's question 18. And we're going to look at this blog post and we're going to do it together. Okay, so imagine you're on holidays in Saint-Tropez. Write a blog post in French about the holiday. Brilliant. Okay, the beauty is they tell you exactly what they want. Okay, they don't expect you to go into a stream of consciousness. They give you 6 questions that you answer. What you put around that is completely up to you, but you must answer those 6 questions, because if you don't, if you only answer 4 of them and you leave 2 out, you'll be losing marks, okay? So even if you answered 4 and you put a load of lovely stuff around it, you still cannot get full marks because you've left 2 of the points out. So it's really, really important that you stick to what they're telling you, right? And here we are. I have them typed out. So I'm kind of getting a little bit better. Comment as-tu voyagé? How did you travel? Avec qui as-tu voyagé? With whom did you travel? Qu'est-ce que tu manges là-bas? Now go to another one of my live streams where I go over questions and how you form questions and all of that. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus? What do you like the most? Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le moins? What do you like the least? Quels sont tes projets pour les prochains jours? So they're looking for you to write in the passé composé. Passé composé. What are you eating there? Present. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus? What do you like the most? So they're going to be looking for a little bit of you to extend beyond kind of formulaic French and actually really engage with the subject. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le moins? What do you not like? Quels sont tes projets pour les prochains jours? Future. So they put in the present, past, and future into the blog post, and they need you to basically answer all those questions. So be very careful for the first one. Comment as-tu voyagé? We would say, you have to put your answer in the passé composé. So for example, j'ai pris l'avion de Dublin. Je suis venu en voiture avec ma famille. I mean, how we'd manage that, who knows, but you could be from a different place. Avec qui as-tu voyagé? J'ai voyagé avec ma mère, or je suis venu ici avec mes parents, or whoever it is. Qu'est-ce que tu manges là-bas? What do you eat there? Well, obviously, la nourriture, food is going to be really important. You've all covered it in all your chapters, right? In your books, you've all done food, okay? Actually, it was one, I did a role play in a restaurant with my students to get them to really learn food, and they loved it. Actually, they really did. They really, really did. They love role plays. Students love when they're moving in a classroom. It's where possible, you know, not complete chaos either. So, qu'est-ce que tu manges là-bas? Je mange, je prends, je bois, whatever. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le plus? Well, use your kind of stuff like j'adore, j'aime beaucoup, j'aime surtout. You know, use those kind of words. Qu'est-ce que tu aimes le moins? Je n'aime pas trop le bla 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 bla. Whatever it is, je n'aime pas trop les randonnées en ville, or visiter les magasins, ou je n'aime pas trop la sable. You know, whatever it is that you don't really like. Quels sont tes projets pour les prochains jours? So you could say something like, j'irai en ville avec mes parents pour voir la cathédrale. Nous irons au restaurant. J'irai faire du shopping avec ma mère. Whatever it is, just stick in a future simple verb, because that always works well. Okay? Now, another thing that I want you to just try and do, I'm going to type out a sample blog. Okay? I'm going to do this sample blog. I'm going to put it up for you with the English, just to give you a help with it, okay? That's kind of where we're at for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Please do me a favor and comment and share with your friends. I would really love it if we could help more and more students, especially as we just don't know how long all of this is going to last. I am going to be here every evening, 8 p.m. I'm going to be covering something from junior, something from leaving. Please tell your friends. Please send me your suggestions and let me know how I can help you. Alors, pour moi, ce soir, c'était vraiment un plaisir. J'espère que vous avez trouvé un petit peu quelque chose pour vous aider. Et merci beaucoup d'être venu me rejoindre. Merci beaucoup. À demain soir. So we see you all tomorrow evening. I have to try and turn this off. Voilà.